Hi guys, so I'm back to filming another video for you today. I've been holding off using this eyeshadow palette until I'd done my first impressions in this video. When this palette came through, I was so excited. I had to swatch it. It's gorgeous. If you follow me over on Instagram, I'll leave the link below. You probably already know what this video is going to be about, and the title will probably give it away. But I have waited so long to use this palette. So as you're probably aware if you follow me on Instagram, if not, go over and follow me. It is the Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. This came through the post and I have not had one of her palettes before. I've never tried her formula. So many people rave about it over on Instagram, and I follow some amazing people on there that do tutorials with just her palettes, and I watch them and literally they look amazing. I'll tag them below. So this is the Mini Star palette. So it's my very first palette from her. So these are the colours here. They have been swatched. They are indented, as you can see. But I haven't used them on my eyes yet, so I'm really excited to try them first up on camera. So I'm not going to bore you with my skin today. If you want to know what I've got on my skin at the end of this video, then just leave a comment below and I'll let you know. I'm going to be purely focusing on my eyes today. As you can tell, I'm so excited about using this palette. I'm going to go for a little bit of a halo eye, inspired by a few videos that I've watched over on Instagram. If you go back onto my Instagram, I have swatched them. They don't look exactly as they look in the pan. So I'm really excited. Let's get started. Okay, so the hair is back and I'm gonna go straight in. So I'm using the eye primer that I always use. I have got some other primers, but because I use this one so much, I want to compare it to all of my other products so that it's fair. The MUA Pro Base Primer. So there you go, that's the primer down, nice and even colour. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is going to be this muted kind of brown, what I would say is a transition shade. So that is called Attic, and it's just really compact. Look at how kind of big it is compared to my hand. This is going to be my go-to for holiday, I just know it. So I'm going in with just a fluffing brush, M200, into that shade there. I will say straight up, the fallout in the palette is quite a bit, but I like to use the fallout anyway, so I do not waste shadow over here. So that's on the brush, just tap it off, and I'm going to go into the crease with this. Okay, you can definitely see it showing up there. It's a really nice brown actually. It's a gorgeous, like, deeper transition shade. Okay, and I'm just really buffing that out, so I don't want any harsh lines. So as you can see, I'm taking it quite far up into my brow. It's a really nice shade though, so it's a really nice transition shade. I'm going to go and do it on the other eye. Okay, so that is just kind of the base down, and I really like that. That's going to be such a nice shadow on its own. The next one that I'm going to go in with is this deep dark brown here, and that is called Earth. I'm just going to use like a pointed blending brush, and I'm just going to pop that in, and I'm going to focus that purely on the outside of my eye. Can you see there? I'm just focusing that there. Okay, so I'm just bringing it up slightly. I'm going to go and repeat it on the other eye. Okay, so now that that's packed on there on the outside of the eye, I'm going in with a bigger blending brush, just to smoke that out on the outside and bring it into just slightly in the crease here. So I'm just going to focus that on there and just literally wiggle the brush. It really softens it. I was taught this trick by a makeup artist, and it just really diffuses it. So I'm not actually moving the brush, I'm just pushing the brush in and I'm just wiggling it, and it just diffuses it out. Can you see that? It's just such a great trick. So rather than going like this, I'm just literally picking up, putting it back down, wiggling, picking up, put it back down, wiggling. And now I'm just going to move that through the crease. I'm just going to pop a bit more on this side, so as you can see, it's got a bit more dark on this side. So I'm just going to pick some more up. And just trying to match them up. Okay, I'm happy with how well that's matched. So far the pigment is really paying off. So if you tap the brush off, it's like a subtle pigment that's really, really easy to blend. If you don't tap the brush off so much and precisely push it on like I did with this mini brush, the pigment is strong. So just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're using a brush like this, it's always going to kind of buff the pigment out. It's not going to concentrate it, but the pigment is there. It's definitely there. It's the pigment. It's like no other shadow that I've tried. It's such a nice formula. So with the same brush that I've done my little wiggle trick with, I'm going to go back into this brown here, and I'm just going to pull this through the eye now. So now that I've buffed it out on the edge, I'm just going to pull the inside of it through the crease. As you can see there, so it's just deepened up that crease just by putting the base shade on and pulling a slight little bit of the shadow from the outside. It's just going to deepen that crease there, so you can see the difference there. And I'm just going to do the same on this eye. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with my little buffing brush and just pick up a slight little bit of pigment and brush the brow out. So just to really smoke that out. I'm barely pushing into the palette. Okay, so with exactly the same brush, I've got a clean version of this brush. I'm just going to use this to blend it into the brow. So you'll see that it's quite harsh there at the moment. So I'm just going to blend this out without anything on. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to go and intensify the corner a little bit again with a dark colour, just picking up a little bit, tapping it off and just pressing it into the very bottom of the lash line. Okay, so I'm literally just intensifying that. Okay, so I am going to go and just deepen up the corner of my eye, just because I am going to do a halo look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into the dark brown first with a tiny bit of pigment, clean brush, it's just like a domed pencil brush, then into the lighter pigment and kind of roll it through. So what that'll do is it will just mix the pigments together, and I'm going to tap and I'm just going to brush it through the inner of my eye. It's just intensifying that. Can you see that it's mixed really well? You don't need a lot at all if you don't want it to go too heavy. And I'm going to do it the same on the other one. So back in with the clean blending brush, I'm just going to soften those lines. And there you go. So I am going to pop a pop of highlight in the inside of my eye anyway, so the outside line doesn't need to be so crisp. It's fine. You can kind of juggle that when you pop the highlight on. So my favourite part is this glitter pigment. I have swatched this so many times. I'm going to swatch it again just to show you on here. This is one swipe. You just saw me do that. Look at that payoff. Like, that is just insane. Okay, so back to my favourite part is using my finger to apply this middle shade here. So the middle shade is called Bellatrix. It is stunning, as you can see by this swatch here. It just catches the light. It's amazing. It's just so nice. So I pop some on my finger there, and I'm literally just going to focus it on the middle of my eye. It is just beautiful. It goes on perfectly. So I'm focusing mainly on the lash line, and then I'm just bringing it up slightly in the middle there, as you can see. And I'm going to go and repeat it on the other eye. Okay, so I love how that's come out. I'm going to go back in with the clean blending brush, and I'm just going to blend it through the crease there and just blend it here so that it joins really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to intensify the inner corner of my eye a little bit as well, just because I feel like it needs something in there. So I'm going back in with the pointy blender and just popping a bit of the dark pigment on just along the lash line. I'm not putting it all over my lid, so I'm just going to pop it along the lash line. Okay, so that is the base of the eye down. I'm going to go and complete the rest of my face and then come to the lower lash line, mascara and lashes, etc. for you. I just don't want to bore you with this because it's purely based on this palette, because it is a new palette, it's a new formula for me. It's my very first Natasha Denona palette and I have fallen in love with it. So this is the eye look so far. And I'll be back when I've got a full face. Okay, so that is my full face done. I'm just going to add the highlight to my brow bone and the inner corner of my eye. I wanted to do this on camera just that you can see the difference that it makes. I'm using the Becca Cosmetics Shimmering Skin Perfector powder in Opal. One of my favourites. I've done a video about this before. Just along the brow bone and just on the inside of the eye. So it just really pops that inside of the eye there, it just wakes it up. Okay, so that is the highlight on the brow bone and the inner corner. So I'm just going to do mascara now. So I always use a spoolie before I put mascara on just to separate my lashes. I've already done my setting spray because I never do setting spray after mascara, because the last thing that you want is it to run down your face. Okay, so the mascara that I'm going to use today is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator mascara. Okay, so that is mascara done. So I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line, but I just want to prepare my lashes first because I am going to put some lashes on today. It's been a while since I put lashes on, especially with this whole lockdown. The ones that I'm going to use are the Fleur de Force Eyeliner. I've used these before. I reuse every pair of lashes. So to smoke out my lower lash line, I'm going to use this tiny little Morphe brush. It is the M213 brush. And I'm just going to use the brown... I put my lash on the eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to use this transition brown shadow here. And I'm just going to smoke that along the outer corners, the outer third of my eye. I don't like to go right onto the inside. It just makes my eyes look smaller. Okay, so that is just the lower lash line smoke. So you could leave it like that, or you could add the dark brown again with the same brush. I'm just going to add the tiniest amount of dark brown right to the outside corner. I'm not bringing that full through the full third of my eye, just on the outside of my corner, just to deepen that up slightly. Do you see there? So it just gives it a little bit of an elongated look. And you can go and use one of your clean blending brushes that you have and just smoke that through. And there you go. So that is the smoked lower lash. I'm going to just stick my lashes on and I'll be right back with you to show you the finished look. Okay, so that is the final look. I'm first impressions on this palette. I love this palette. It's such a nice palette. The colours, it's just like an essential palette to take away. You can go do really light looks, you can do really dark looks. The formula is amazing, like one of the best formulas I have ever tried. I am looking to get another one of either the mini or the safari palette. It's just such a lovely formula. The palette itself, really nice. So it's got the kind of click close. It feels kind of heavy considering it's a small palette. It feels heavy for a small palette. And then I've just popped some lashes on just to make it a little bit more dramatic, and a liquid lip by Gerard Cosmetics, which is their Hydro Matte Mile High liquid lipstick. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. So my first impressions of the Natasha Denona mini star palette, it gets a big thumbs up from me. I love it. I'm looking into getting some more of the palettes, so it is definitely a winner for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did. Let me know if you've tried any of these palettes. I've seen so many people have tried them and so many looks have been done. It'd be great if you could go and follow me over on Instagram. I'll pop it here, and follow me on YouTube. I'll pop the handle here as well.